You are the most important relationship. Before you swipe, text, or worry about being too much, start with you. Grow Therapy helps you build self-worth, set boundaries, and show up as your full self. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Seeing with Your Soul. It's me, Tisha, your host. So let's just kick this off with some gratitude. Y'all know how I roll, and if you don't know how I roll, this is how I roll. I love to start everything off with just expressing what I am grateful for in the present moment. And in this present moment, I am grateful for the 2-mile walk that I did this morning. I went with my aunt, my uncle, and one of my daughters. It felt so good, for, a couple of reasons. One being, it helped me create some space. I realized that I've been just so overwhelmed and so consumed with a lot of things that aren't actually mine, and just taking on a lot that I haven't really done anything and done too much to be able to create some space for, there's a couple things going on in my life where I feel a little confused and need some clarity and really need to just take some action, but still kind of being paralyzed, whether it's paralyzed with a fear or just fucking paralyzed. So I hadn't really created too much space in my life. So going for that walk, it allowed me to create some space. And plus, because I was in my favorite place, just being out in nature versus just walking the track, right? So switching up that scenery was great. It also allowed me to move my body. My body's been really stiff, and you can just feel how much stuck energy is there, and you need to move your body to move that energy through. And it was funny because last night I had a dream, and all I remember in the dream was someone telling me to dance and to just move my body to rid some of that energy, just to push that energy through, so that way more energy can start to flow through, and just to move your body. And I don't remember everything in the dream, but I know that was the most important part, was just for me to move my body so I can get some of that energy to go through. So in this present moment, I'm super, super grateful for being able to have that walk. And, some people can just be it was just a walk. That's something that you can always do. Yeah, that's true. Right now, that is something that I can always do. But I'm grateful for the ability to be able to actually walk, right? So I don't want to ever take that for granted. My left shoulder, 2 weeks ago, I had that surgery on it. So it's healing very well. I still feel a lot of pain through certain things, because when I take it off, when I take the sling or whatever it is, the immobilizer, when I take it off, because they said when I'm at home, I can take it off a little bit to give it some air, to give it a little bit of a break. But when I do that, I forget that I hurt that arm. So I end up doing something that I really shouldn't be doing. And then I'm oh my gosh, and then I have to put that back into there. Well, I got a package at my mom's house from, what is it called? Amazon. and I was leaving out and I seen it on the floor, and I went to go. I had my bag on my right shoulder and this sling on my left, the one that's up, because I can't pick anything up with it. And I went to bend down so I could pick it up with my right hand, but everything in my bag fell out, and I was so frustrated. I was trying to kick it, but I couldn't kick the package in because of the little whatever the thing is in front of the door. And I just got so frustrated because I wasn't able to use my arm and I wasn't able to do the things that I normally do. And I know that there's times where I've taken a lot of body parts and different things for granted. So I'm very, very, very grateful that I have the ability and I have the two legs and I have the strength to be able to go and walk and to be able to enjoy that. So in this present moment, that's what I am grateful for. So yeah, guys. All right, so now it's your turn. Unless you're driving, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take 3 nice deep breaths. And you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more. Deep breath in and out. So in this present moment, what are you grateful for? Say it out loud. Say it in your head. Journal it. Just express that gratitude. Really dig deep. What are you grateful for? Maybe even think about some things that you've taken for granted. And now you want to express some gratitude for it. It's always good to put that energy out there, raise that vibration, express what we're grateful for, scan our life for the many, many, many blessings that we have. Even in the midst of the dark times and the storms, there's always something to be grateful for. And I used to hear people say that, and I used to think it was stupid. And when I say stupid, it's like, I don't even want to hear that shit. Like, I'm going through something, and not that many people knew that I was in a dark place or anything like that. It would just be maybe the time I would hear it on TV, maybe something on TV would say something like that. And I just thought it was just stupid and was like, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, we have things we could be grateful for, but I'm in a dark place right now and nothing is going well. So I don't want to hear that. But that was just me being ridiculous. Now I'm not going to say me being ridiculous, me not looking at it from that perspective. But yes, in the middle of a storm and darkness, there's always something to be grateful for. There's so many more blessings than things that we perceive to be negative in our life. And one way to really tap into that is to express gratitude and take that time and just scan through your life and just see, well, look at all the blessings that you have, right? And then when we focus on those blessings, we receive even more. That's pretty cool, right? So right now I have a favor to ask of you guys. If you haven't already done so, if you are on iTunes, I want you to just real quick, go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom and give us a rating. Even write us a review. I just think that would just be so dope, because I might even actually start reading some of these reviews. But I would greatly appreciate it, because it does help the show get more exposure, which then helps me help more people, helps me, continue to walk in my purpose and send those messages and allow it to reach the people that it is meant to reach. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could give me a rating. Go ahead and write a review, and even maybe share it on social media. If there was a gem or something that really resonated with you, go ahead and share that. You just never, never, never know how that can also help that, someone else. So I pulled cards the other day for myself, pulled a card the other day for myself. I was waking, I was like, oh, something said just pull a card. So I pulled a card and I was like, okay, interesting. And then I heard posted online and I'm like, do a pick a card, was like, post this online. So I shared it online and just said, hey, I pulled this card. This was the message for me. Maybe this resonates with someone else. And a couple people were hitting me up, responding back to it and all. And then someone even reshared it or whatever on Instagram and was just saying that they were just thinking about that night. And then here I go posting that. And then she told me to get out of her head. So shout out to you, Mia. That was funny. But I'm saying all that to say, something can resonate really well with us. Don't be afraid to share it, because you never know who else that might reach and what it might be for, that particular person. So anyhow, yeah, let's get this going, guys. So today, what are we talking about today? So like 2 days ago from the time that I'm recording this, I was working with one of my clients, but one of my clients that's in my 90-day program or a 12-month program, my alignment program, where we work and dive deeper into your particular things to really kind of help guide you in your healing and your growth, right? So I was working with them on this exercise where it's like, who are you and what do you believe, right? So in this exercise, I'll have that person really look at themselves and look at their beliefs, right? Because we all have like a lot of positive things that we believe and we always want to like reinforce them, right? But a lot of times, our beliefs are negative. And because we have these negative beliefs, they create some not so nice experiences in life, right? But, so I say in order for us to change these things, we have to be aware of it, right? We have to be aware of what those beliefs are, or to even see like these patterns and stuff, right? So we just did a simple but yet powerful exercise where I gave them a word and I wanted them to tell me what did that mean to them. So, in the order I said man, what is that? They would just tell me everything. They were writing it down because this is something for them to go back, but yet also saying it to me. Then we go to like women, like what does that mean to you? Anything. And we're doing this exercise without filtering. The key is to not filter it, right? Just to really write down, and it doesn't have to be one word, really. It could be one word, but what is it? Then we went to love. Then we went to sex. Then we went to work. Then we went to money. Then we went to success. Then we went to failure. Then we went to God, right? So having that conversation and all. So when we are writing that and when we are doing this exercise, and it's something you can do as well, you get to see what your beliefs are around those words. And when you can see what the belief is around that particular word, you can then see how it is playing a part in your life, right? So, we got some breakthroughs on, especially on one particular one with that person. So I don't know, later that night I got in the shower and, I got comfortable to kind of like wind down and I wanted to go and write. And what I heard was for me to do this exercise. I'm like, why? I've done it before, but it was like for me to do it. So I was like, okay. So I did it. And it was crazy because what popped out to me, the three things that stood out the most was men, money, and love. And when I looked at all the things that I wrote behind them, I said, holy shit. I was like, wow, the beliefs around them stood out so much. And in particular, what I seen a lot forming in all of them was trust issues. It was like, I don't trust, right? I have, I don't even want to say I have trust issues, but yeah, trust is a big thing for me. And I could see that in the beliefs around those words. So, of course, in that moment, I'm like, oh my God, this is also a podcast topic, right? So I wanted to talk about this with you guys. Like, I want you guys to do this exercise, right? And I'll go through it again real quick. So all you are doing is just who are you and what do you believe, right? What are your beliefs? Some people say like, I want to make these changes, but in order to make these changes, you have to be aware of what your belief is, right? And once you see what that belief is, you want to question it. Is it your belief or is it someone else's belief? And where is the story, or what is the story that's attached to that belief, right? So you can just grab your journal, grab, a paper and literally write these down. And when you write it down, you don't want to filter it. You don't want to censor it. You just want to write everything that comes to mind and what you think about that. So you could put men, and maybe you say men are strong. They're protectors. They're cheaters. They're liars. Whatever it is, just say it. Just write it down, right? So it was men, women, love, sex, work, money, success, failure, and God. And you can add other words if you want to or take some away, but those are the ones that I use. So anyhow, I was really seeing where I don't trust. I have a hard time trusting people, trusting in systems, trusting in just different things in particular, because there's that fear that you don't want to be let down. There's that fear you don't want to be hurt. There's that way if you want to be in control. So if you're already like, nah, that's not going to work, and it doesn't work, hey, I already knew that, right? So then it comes into that point, right? So I've been like this my whole life. And when I say my whole life, as far back as I can remember, is that I'm keeping people at a distance, right? So like I would keep people at a distance and not let people in because I didn't want to get hurt. But then I ended up getting hurt anyway. And I'm like, well, what part of the game is this? This wasn't in the book. I kept people at a distance, right? And then that's when I realized that walls don't keep you safe. They just stop that flow of love coming in, right? So, people say like, oh, I built up a wall. Like you put a wall up, right? Because you felt like once you put that wall up, it's going to keep you safe. But you really think about it, you've gotten hurt. And that was me. I was putting these walls up thinking that it was going to keep me safe, but I got hurt anyway. And along the process, I blocked that flow of love. Everything is love. Everything that we do in life, we either operate from love or we operate from fear, right? Love or fear. And by me creating these walls, thinking it's going to just protect me and keep me safe, I missed out on love because I didn't allow that. And because I wasn't going to allow anyone close to me. Because I don't want anybody to get close to me because I don't want to get hurt. So what I'm actually saying is that anybody that gets close, that I allow close to me, is going to hurt me, right? That is the message that I'm putting to the universe, right? And because the universe does not judge us and we all have free will, wherever we are putting our energy to, whatever our belief is, the universe is then going to bring experiences to validate that, right? So if I'm like, oh my God, what? Everybody loves me. Like, oh my God, everybody wants to hang around with me. Everybody wants to talk to me because everybody loves Tisha. Duh. Guess what? I'm going to have a lot of loving people around me because that's what I believe. Like, that's my belief. So when you're going through life and like with me, I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to get close to me because they're going to hurt me. So I'm going to keep them at a distance because that was my belief. So if I remotely let someone in just a tiny bit and they did something crazy or did something that made me feel some type of way, see, that's exactly why I don't trust anybody. That's exactly why I don't let people get close to me because shit like that happens, right? Because now the universe is bringing these experiences to me because that's what I believe. It's my belief. It's my belief. And one of my beliefs was that walls keep me safe. And they don't. So I want to put up this wall, but it's actually just blocking out the love and not allowing that love to flow. So when I was looking at that, even when it came to like men, one of the things that I said was, I put can't be trusted. And when I went back and looked at it, I was like, what? Really? And this is why it's so important to not filter when you're writing these things down and just allow it to go through. But in one part, I did say that men, what I wrote down was they are protectors. I wish I had it in front of me, everything that I had wrote, but that's in my journal. But I do remember one thing I said was that they were protectors. I was like, protector. And then I was like, can't be trusted. So there is something that's there. So because I have that belief that men can't be trusted, I am then going to attract experiences to come in and validate why men can't be trusted, because that is my strong belief around men. So now it is up to me to be able to change that belief, right? But understand where that belief come from. How far back does it go? Does it go to my dad because my dad wasn't in my life? So, is that where it comes from, where I feel like men just can't be trusted because I couldn't trust my dad because he wasn't in my life? And then I scanned through and I looked at different men from childhood that may have done something inappropriate, right? And okay, so then that validated that men can't be trusted. Then it'll go through into being in a relationship. I remember, so I got pregnant at 16. I had her at 17. I was pregnant at 16 and I was with my ex-husband. Well, it was with my ex-husband. We got married after that. And I always said at first, I was like, oh, we're going to grow old and we're going to die together. That was my strong core belief while we were together. as teenagers, I was like, we're going to grow old together and we're going to die together. That was just my belief. Just like there was that strong belief of my best friend, Gloria. I was like, yo, we're going to grow old together and we're going to die together and we're going to do all these things together. And then she died at 39, right? So then that was like, whoa, that's crazy, because this is what I thought, right? So then I had that strong belief of, and it's her brother, that we were going to grow old and die together. There. Then we got separated. So then my belief became, if it did not work out with my childhood, my high school sweetheart, then it will never work out with anyone else. That was my core belief. And I shaped and based every relationship, whatever. And when I say relationship, it doesn't have to mean it was a long term or we're, exclusive, whatever. Just any type of relationship was based around that belief. But that was when the walls went up too, right? The walls was like, oh, hell no. If it didn't work out with my high school sweetheart, ain't no way in hell it's going to work out with anybody else. But that's what I believe. So I had that strong belief. So then the universe is going to bring different experiences around to validate that, right? Or me justifying all those things. So those walls are going up. But guess what, guys? Walls don't keep you safe. You can still be hurt. And it doesn't have to be just in a romantic sense. It could be from a parent. It could be from a sibling. It could be from whatever. But walls don't keep you safe. But what they do, it's funny. They block that flow of love coming in. So if you have experienced some type of hurt, and if you have had a broken heart from a relationship that you were in, I will applaud you, because that means you loved. You loved, right? You loved. And if you have been hurt, it's not the best thing, okay? Let me make this disclaimer. You can do whatever it is that you want to do because you have free will and no one can take that free will away from you. However, it is not the best thing to do is to shut down and put up a wall and not allow anybody else in because of a past experience and a past hurt. What you can do is try to look at that past experience from a different perspective, right? Look at it from, just like I said, when we scan our life, when it comes to our gratitude and what we're grateful for, we can be in the middle of the darkest place in our life. But if you step back and look around you, you'll see that you have way more blessings than what's actually going on. So if you go back and you look into that relationship that hurt you, that broke your heart, whether you were cheated on or whatever the case is, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. If you just step back and look at that relationship, what did you learn from that? Where were there some lessons at? What were the patterns in there? What could you do differently if that was to present itself again? Because it will. The lesson will keep coming up until you learn it, right? And it'll just look different, but it'll be the same. Also, when you look at it, what were the great things that you got from that relationship? What did you learn about yourself from that relationship? Again, it doesn't have to be romantic. Just you can apply this to where it needs. But maybe focus on what you learned from there. What did you learn about that person? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the role that you play in a relationship? What is it that's something that you like or you dislike? What is some of your strengths? You can really look at that for there versus looking at it as the hurt, right? Looking at it as the pain and then shutting everybody else out or not even opening yourself up to even receive love from someone else. So we teach what we most need to learn, right? And we are all reflections of each other. So while I was working with my client on that exercise in there, it was actually also for myself. It was for me. And once I was winding down and I was done with sessions and I released all of that energy, my higher self was like, it's your turn now, girl. You do this. And out of all of those, there were three things: money, men, and love. And there were some strong beliefs around there, which is now bringing that awareness for me. And now I get to sit with that, which I did, and I'm still sitting with it, get to sit with that and look through and say, okay, are these my beliefs? Do they belong to someone else? And what is the story attached to this, right? So here's that story that I had attached to it, where also for my trust stuff is, If it did not work out with my high school sweetheart, it will not work out with anyone else. And that is that belief, and that is that story. And that is having now this awareness being brought to me that I have that belief that's there. And now I need to change that belief. Right? So instead of throwing up that wall thinking it's protecting me, I'm just going to learn from those experiences and see how I will do things differently when it presents itself to me. And then also allowing and knowing that I deserve love, right? Just like you deserve love. You deserve happiness, right? So, yeah, it was really, really interesting. So I would love to hear your feedback if you do this exercise to see what are some of the beliefs that you might not have even really realized that you have, right? And if so, share it with me. I'm on Instagram at Mindset Slayer. You can just send me a message and just let me know the episode that you listened to this episode and you did the exercise and something that really stood out to you. I would love to know. I would love to, to see, if anything new popped up. And when I say new, like one of the words, I didn't even really realize I had that strong belief around that until I did this exercise. And mind you, I had done this before. And energy changes and things change and perspectives and just different things shift. So it was meant for me to do it again to be able to see like, oh. So not only do I have this strong belief, I now can see why I do the things that I do. And I'm recognizing those patterns. And I'm like, oh, because there's a strong core belief that has a story attached to it. And I need to change that story so that way I can move forward and stepping and being into the best and truest version of myself. And I want that for you guys too. I really want that for you guys. So, take a little bit of time, do the exercise, point out these beliefs, check in. Are they yours? Are they someone else's? Where did they come from? What story is attached to it? And how can I get rid of this shit? By one, looking at it and saying, is this true? Is this true? Right? Asking yourself, is this true? Is this true to me? Not true to the world, but true to me. So that's what I got for you guys. So as I was preparing when I say preparing, just getting everything like set up so I can go ahead and record this podcast. But then I got a phone call. And then when I was having a conversation, it was something that he said. And I was like, oh my God, you just gave me my next topic for my podcast. So I'm going to go ahead, honestly, and just record that one now while it's all flowing to me. And again, it's also funny too. So let me tell you this, right? So we'll back up. Before that happened, I had said to him, I got to record another podcast so I can make sure I get it uploaded on time. And I was like, I really wish I could just sit here and just like record like 4 episodes like on the same day. So that way I'm ahead and then I'll have enough time to, do some other things. Cause I have a pretty busy schedule. Like right now, I got some things to work on for Hag TV, for my network. I got to prepare for my ongoing clients that I have. And I'm like, dang, if I could just do that. So then we were just talking about something else. And then he said something and it triggered a topic. I mean, he gave me basically a topic and didn't realize it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going to record that now. And then I started laughing. I was like, yo, I just manifested that. I was like, what did I just say to you like 10 minutes ago? I was like, I really wish that I could record more, like maybe 4 or something, but I have to just wait for them to come to me before I record because that's just how it flows to me. And then he says something that has nothing to do with that, but it gives me a topic. And not only does it give me a topic, it gives me a story along with it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to record that right now. So guess what, guys? I'm getting 2 recorded. I just manifested that shit, yo. That's how powerful we are. So remember, you're a very powerful being. But anyhow, thank you so much, guys, for listening and just tuning in as much as you do. I've been looking at I'll log in every now and then and just kind of check the stats. And I don't do it all the time because I don't want to obsess over that. But I kind of check it a little more often now because 1 month I seen what the numbers were when it closed out. And then the next month, no cap, I doubled. And I was like, what? I was like, there got to be an error or something because I really don't promote the podcast heavily. And that's just my own thing that I probably battle with, where it's like, oh, bragging about myself and da da da. And that's that ego doing that dumb shit, right? And it's like, chill out. It's not even about you. It's about you sharing your, letting people know you have this podcast and this is something that can help them, especially if someone's not able to like work with me one-on-one. This is still another way for them to be able to get some guidance, right? So for my numbers to double like that, I was like, what? And I was like, and that was out without me like going hard at like, promoting it or sharing it. So then, you get into your head and you're like, maybe that was a fluke. But then the next month, I did a little bit more. I think I did like 60 downloads more than like before. So I was like, oh, so it didn't drop back down. Like, oh, that's cool. Into that part. But anyhow, seriously, I think that I was going somewhere else with that. And I just had a complete, like, everything is just blank. Like, I don't even know where I was going with that or if I already went there. So guess what? I'm not going to force it. It's just what it is. So, but another thing too. Oh, now I remember. Oh my God. You guys bear with me. I remember I was thanking you guys. For tuning in because it means so much to me. Even though like I help guide a lot of people, I help connect them to their truth. I help remind them who the fuck they are. I'm still human. I still have that humanism in me where, is anybody even listening? Do people really even care? Am I really helping people? Like, I go through that too, guys. I go through that as well. So I wanted to just make sure that I was expressing just also my gratitude and my gratefulness for you guys to be like tuning in and the feedback that you guys give me. And there'll be times where I've recorded a podcast and I'm like, oh my God, I totally could have just did better on that one. Like, oh my God, I could have gave more. Well, and I kind of like question myself on that. And it'll be so, and no cap, put this on everything I love, that I'll be thinking that. And within like a couple of hours, I'll just randomly, no such thing as random, get a message from someone that says, I was listening to this episode and when you said ... that resonated with me so much, or thank you, and then I'll just start laughing because I'm doubting myself and what it is that I talked about. And then the universe is like, silly child, let me remind you who the fuck you are. Since you want to be running around reminding everybody else, let me remind you. And then I'll just get that, right? So again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for just trusting in me, right? Thank you for showing up for yourself. Every time you listen to a podcast, whether it's mine or someone else's, but we're talking about seeing with your soul. So whenever you listen to Seeing with Your Soul, just know that you are being guided there. It's called Seeing with Your Soul for a reason, right? That's you trusting yourself. That's you being guided and led because there's a message in here for you. It could be one word that I say, but that one word is what was needed, is what your soul needed, right? So you all are on your spiritual journey. Whatever you want to call it, just know you are on your spiritual journey, which is why you are here listening to this podcast. So again, thank you guys so, so much. And until next time, bye guys. Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.